Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Monmouth County. My name is Elaine Held, and my pronouns are she and her. I serve on the worship committee to help bring vibrant and important music to this community. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived in this place, you are welcome here. Our mission is to create community, transform ourselves and our lives, and hopefully the world. This morning we welcome our two guests. Our guest speaker is Reverend Cindy Terlazzo, is an ordained UU minister who has been serving the Unitarian Universalists congregation of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania for the past 4 years. However, she and her husband, John, have recently moved to Rochester, New York, to be closer to family, of course. And she begins her new ministry there with 2 small congregations in upstate New York this fall. Cindy takes seriously the art of making room for joy to arrive in your life, particularly in these most curious and tumultuous times. John Terlazzo is a poet, singer, songwriter, and storyteller who performs and records with his band, Voices in the Hall. And he also leads retreats called The Flame in Every Hand, writing as a contemplative art. Too bad you don't live closer. Thank you all for coming. Please place your devices into worship and welcome again to this place of love and hope.
Good morning. It seems like every tradition that I look at always seems to, the wisdom that speaks there always seems to move in the same direction. It says, start from a place of gratitude. So let's begin with a song of gratitude. It's one word. You've heard it before, and I think the melody will be pretty clear and obvious. Feel free to sing along. Just allow your head to tilt back and the sound to pour out. Alleluia, 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 alleluia,
Well, good morning again to all of you. What an incredibly beautiful day to be here, right? I invite you into this time of being together with the words of Donna Ashworth. Joy does not arrive with a fanfare on a red carpet strewn with flowers of a perfect life. Joy sneaks in as you pour a cup of coffee, watching the sun hit your favorite tree just right. And you may usher joy away because you're not ready for it. Your house is not as you think it must be for such a distinguished guest as Joy. But Joy cares nothing about your messy home or your bank balance or your waistline, you see, or even the state of the world. Joy is supposed to slither through the cracks of your imperfect life. That's how joy works. You cannot invite her. You can only be ready when she appears and hug her with meaning, because in this very moment, joy is choosing you.
I invite Rick Goldberg to come up and light our chalice this morning. These words by Leslie Takahashi. As we light our chalice today, let us remember that all we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create. A deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share. Thank you, Rick.
Here's another piece that we can sing together if you like. Very simple. This joy that I am, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I am, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I am, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Strength, this strength that I am, the world didn't give it to me. This strength that I am, the world didn't give it to me. This strength that I am, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This hope that I am, the world didn't give it to me. This hope that I am, the world didn't give it to me. This hope that I am, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Peace, this peace that I am, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this peace that I am, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I am, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This joy that I am, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I am, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, joy that I am. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it. The world can't take it away.
So, we have what I'm calling a special surprise right now. For the Time for All Ages, there's a story that I really love that I'm going to be sharing for you. And right now, Allie and Steve are going to pass out some bubble wands, because while we're telling this story, there's going to be a special word. And every time you hear that special word, you're invited to let the bubbles fly, okay? Because to me, there's something about bubbles and joy and just that lightness and loveliness that bubbles inspire. So if you haven't guessed by now, the word is joy. And every time you hear the word joy in the story that will follow, that will be your cue to let the bubbles fly high. So we'll just wait a few more moments until everyone who wants a bubble wand has one. So the wands twist off, and you want to keep it upright, and you just pull it out and blow it. You might have to twist the top off. There we go. Does everybody have a wand who wants one? All right. Okay, so here's the story. This is a story that was written by the Reverend Dr. Lynn Unger, and she says, UU Minister Bill Clark tells a story about being at the beach, and you all know about being at the beach, right? He was at the beach after a very long and hard day. The past many months had been particularly difficult for him. He was exhausted and sad and wondering how he could possibly go on. And I'm thinking maybe a few of us have felt that recently, just wondering, how are we going to keep going on? So Bill was walking across the beach with all of these heavy feelings. Then, across what he thought was an empty beach, Bill heard something, and he listened. There was a woman who was shouting, but it quickly became clear to him that she wasn't in trouble. In fact, she was shouting over and over again the word, joy, joy. All of a sudden, something shifted in Bill's heart, and it was almost a revelation. It was possible to choose joy even in the midst of great difficulty. It was possible to be so committed to joy, so overwhelmed by joy, that you would need to shout it into the very wind and waves. Well, touched as he was by the stranger's declaration of joy, Bill decided to join in. Joy, he called to the woman. Joy, he called to the seagulls. Joy, he called to the sand and the sea. Joy! And each time that he called out, he felt his heart lifting. Each time he called out, he felt more connection to this stranger, and through her to the whole world of people trying to find their own joy. You know what happened next? there was a damp and sandy golden retriever that came running behind a sand dune and dashed up to the woman. "Joy, there you are." "Time to go home," the woman said. And with that, the woman leashed up her dog, Joy, and headed off. So there are a lot of reasons why I like this story. And it's not just because there's a dog in it. And although it's about a kind of mistaken identity, I think it really has a lot to say about finding joy. For one thing, joy doesn't always come when it's called. There are lots of reasons that make us feel as if joy has fled the scene. It might be illness, injury, loss of friendships or loved ones, boring work, teachers or bosses who don't understand or appreciate us, listening to the news. The list of things that can rob us of joy is pretty much endless. And when we have lost our sense of joy, it doesn't necessarily come rushing back the instant we notice that it's gone. And it certainly doesn't help for other people to tell us to smile or that we should just get over whatever it is that's bothering us. You can't be bullied or talked into feeling joy. And sometimes it just doesn't respond when you call. But maybe calling does make a difference. Believing that joy is out there. Knowing that you want to walk together, finding a way to let joy know that you are available might eventually work. Maybe not by hollering joy at random strangers, but by remembering and turning toward the things that have given you joy in the past. Things like dancing and singing, going for a walk, reading a good book, talking and being silly with friends, and eating chocolate. I bet you all have your own other great ideas about things that have brought you joy. Joy doesn't always come when you call, but it comes sooner if you let it know where to find you. And if you can't find joy, maybe you could start by looking for some of its friends and relatives. For instance, gratitude, which is how we opened this morning, often hangs out with joy. And if you can't find your way to gratitude, you might keep your eyes open for wonder, for amazement, and surprisingly, detachment. While not a relative of joy lives in the same house, you will not be able to get through the door unless you leave behind a whole bunch of expectations about how things need to be. The house of detachment has a very narrow entryway and no room to bring in your baggage about how the world needs to follow your rules. But if you can leave the baggage at the doorstep, you will not only find that the house is like Doctor Who's TARDIS, bigger on the inside, you might find and discover that joy is drinking tea in the kitchen. Now, I can't guarantee that any of these suggestions will lead you straight to joy. There are times when you might very well feel as if joy has run off entirely and moved in with someone else. But generally speaking, if you are willing to call out to joy long enough, eventually it will show up, wet and sandy, tongue hanging out the side of its mouth, ready to romp with you all the way home. So thank you for playing along. There'll be a place to deposit your bubble wands at the end of the service. And now, I don't know how many children we might have here, but we will sing Go Now in Peace anyway. So I know you know this. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Well, that was fun. Shimmery. Let's see. This is a reading, the words of Christy Cardinal, a Unitarian minister from Michigan. The picture of the flagpole bent at a 90-degree angle and a small scrap of fabric, edges frayed where the flag ripped apart, snapped me back to reality. The reality where our state governments are attacking trans folks and their families, the reality where the Supreme Court is repressively restricting our reproductive rights, the reality where so many things are contributing to the collective trauma of late state capitalism. I was at a General Assembly 2,500 miles away from home, wrapped in love and dynamic tension of colleagues and congregants. My partner Jay was in Michigan taking care of my feline overlords. He sent me pictures back of the reality at home. Someone had yanked the Progress Pride flag down from the front of my house, the house where my kids live. Tears stung my eyes and fear filled my body. I shared on social media what happened, and almost immediately, a straight friend sent me a message offering to replace the flag. I said yes, and she told me when to expect it. Jay rehung the flag, which seemed bigger and brighter this time around. Then I came home, and I held the flagpole and moved the scrap of flag through my fingers. The tears came back, this time hot with rage. The new flag had been torn down too. I shared on social media again, this time talking about the emotional toll. This was not just vandalism, but violence. Someone suggested I fill my yard and cover my house in pride flags. Yes, I thought again. I made an online wish list with various flags and shared that as well. 2 days later, I came home from the office to a stack of packages on my porch. I came down with COVID that day, so I thought the flags had to wait, and community showed up again when another person offered to come put them in the yard for me. Never have I felt it more true than, quote, an army of lovers cannot lose, quote, than when I saw this in my front yard. Tears of joy filled my eyes as I saw the brightly colored compassion and love of the community wave in the grass. Queer joy is resistance.
So, I've been spending my entire life trying to speak what can't be spoken, and it's why I'm constantly drawn into poetry and have been since I was a little child. And in that pursuit, I look at the world, and I look at these many traditions and mythologies, and there's so much beauty there. This mentions the extinction of all concepts, this song, which is the actual translation of the word nirvana in the Buddhist tradition. It means the extinction of all concepts. Let go of what you think you know and just be the essence. This song, which is called On Having No Head, also contains within it a really bad pun on a particular sport. So keep your eye out for that. Go ahead, step off the edge, step off the ledge into that which you don't know. All will be fine, go ahead, step out of line. It's time to take off your old ragged cloak. Speak carefully and notice your life, how it flows around you like silk. The extinction of all concepts, take this for your wife. Let these drops fall on your lips like milk. Buddha on the road, give him my number, give him my coat. If you see Buddha in the show, tell him that's a nice touch, that hole in my boat. Like those courtesans of Venice, we came here to taste these many fruits. Can't say I know that much about tennis, but I know that love is true. Go ahead, step off the edge, step off the ledge into that which you don't know. All will be fine, go ahead, step out of line. It's time to take off your old ragged cloak. Take off that old ragged cloak. Above your shoulders only smoke. Step so softly, naked in the rain. Above your shoulders, look at those flames. Speak carefully and notice your life, how it flows around you like silk. The extinction of all concepts, take this for your wife. Let these drops fall on your lips like milk.
I invite you now to just take in some breaths, take in all that this day has brought you so far. The joy of the bubbles, the delight in the weather, whatever else you might be carrying, the compassion for the person who was on the bicycle this morning and had this accident. So just breathe in all that you're carrying. Settle yourself as we have this time of reflection of prayer with these words by Gail Forsyth Vale. Today, let us invoke a spirit of gratitude, of joy and thanksgiving for dragonflies and butterflies, caterpillars or leaves, lizards and wild turkeys and tigers and deer. We give thanks for all of this, for sunsets and seashells and starfish and sand, octopus, jellyfish, and hammerhead sharks. We give thanks for horses and kitties, small bunnies and dogs, for babies and giggles, and knowing we are held in love. For all of this, let us give thanks. And now we will sing together hymn 123, Spirit of Life. I think most of us know it. You can rise in body and or spirit as you like. Go ahead and read it.
Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Well, I'm going to make a statement and see if this resonates with you. These days, there is much going on in the world at large and in our personal lives that can be really challenging to navigate. Does that resonate with anybody? It's pretty much of an understatement, right? Activist Valarie Kaur reminds us that in the face of horrors visited upon our world daily, in the struggle to protect our loved ones, choosing to let in joy is a revolutionary act. And I think that's worth repeating. Choosing to let in joy is a revolutionary act. It returns us to everything that is good and beautiful and worth fighting for. You know, and I want to assure you that making room for joy doesn't cancel out all of the other complex feelings that you might have about what is going on in your life, what's going on in the world. But rather, making room for joy to arrive is a declaration and a reminder that choosing joy is an act of resistance. It's an act that says, despite challenge, despite fear, hurt, and confusion, I will not let hardship have the final voice. After all, this joy that we are wasn't given to us by the events of the world, and the world cannot take it away unless we let it. I think that I speak for most of us here that this is a message we need to hear on a regular basis, and I know that I do. For that very reason, I thought that it was a good idea to lift joy up in this very complicated time in world events in our own personal lives, and to bring joy front and center. You know, what is joy anyway? You know, we've been talking about it, we've been singing about it, we've been blowing bubbles about it all morning, but what is joy? I'm guessing that each one of you know it when you feel it. I came across a definition that described joy as a state of mind and an orientation of the heart. And I really like that thought, the orientation of the heart. Historian Howard Zinn reminds us that to be hopeful in bad times is not just foolishly romantic, it is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage, and kindness. He says, what we choose to emphasize in this complex history will determine our lives. If we see only the worst, it destroys our capacity to do something. If we remember those times and places, and there are so many, when people have behaved magnificently, this gives us the energy to act, and at least the possibility of sending this spinning top of a world in a different direction. You know, I know Stephen Colbert is somebody who has been a light for me, and I heard him say recently that part of what draws him to being a comedian and doing the work that he does is that when we're laughing, we can't focus on fear. You know, when you are gathered together with friends and sharing a meal, when you are doing those things that light up your heart, it takes the heaviness that these times are bringing us and puts it in a different perspective. Zinn went on to say, if we do act in however small a way, we don't have to wait for some grand utopian future. The future is an infinite succession of present moments. And to live right now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is in itself a marvelous victory. The Time for All Ages story reminded us that joy does not always come when it's called. We can't be talked into feeling joy. Joy doesn't stand by to be had at our beck and call, but the circumstances for evoking joy can be cultivated. You know, happiness, which is a very close relative to joy, tends to be an emotion that is externally generated. Psychologist Rachel Fernley said that happiness is generally based upon other people, other things, places, thoughts, and events that occur outside of ourselves. Joy, on the other hand, comes when we look inside, when we're able to make peace with those things that may have been disquieting inside of us, when we make peace with who we are, why we are, how we are in the world. Making peace with ourselves is a process. It takes cultivation. It takes a conscious choice to orient ourselves in such a way that we are willing to open ourselves to the wonder and goodness that we are, and the wonder and goodness that exists around us, even when the world feels totally upside down. It takes practice to look for those glimmers, the guiding stars in the dark skies that can spark a sense of joy within us. You know, and this is something that children know instinctively. And I think that that's why many of us find it so easy to have our faces light up when we see little children just being themselves, when we see little babies and children exploring the world with such openness and delight. It reminds us of our own innate orientation to wonder. Young children haven't made that shift from knowing deep within them the unconditional understanding that they are indeed wonder and goodness incarnate. They have not yet abandoned their inner compass to the dictates of the world. They make room for joy to arrive all the time. Who's seen a baby pick up a dead leaf and just delight with it? You know, they find it in everything. They find other things too, right? But they're really open to joy at a moment's notice. As adults, it takes a willingness to leave behind harsh judgments of ourselves and all the expectations we use to should ourselves and the world at large into being something that simply may not be as we wish it would be. And while joy is something that we cannot be certain to have come when we call, I do think that it's contagious. When one person opens themselves up to the expression of joy within their lives, I believe the invitation is made to all of us who are around them. Just like the bubbles this morning, who found their faces just a burst with smiles when you saw these little bubbles floating around. All of that was a simple invitation to just be, to make room for wonder, for delight, to make room for joy to arrive. So what we're going to do now is I'm inviting you into a little experiment. I'm going to open up the service to all of you so that you can call out to joy, just like Bill did on the beach, saying, "Joy, joy!" I'm going to give you the opportunity to share with this beloved community the things in your lives that bring you joy. And it might be a little risky, it's kind of weird to shout out in the middle of a service, but I think that your willingness to call out to joy, to invite joy to show up right here and now, wet and sandy, tongue hanging out, ready to romp with you, will be worth the while. So I'm going to invite you to just shout out. If you can say it loud enough, I'll repeat it back so our friends at home can hear what you have to say. So who's brave enough to say what brought them joy, what brings them joy?
Music.
Music. Yes. Anybody else? Beautiful day.
Fireflies.
Fireflies? Butterflies? Fireflies and butterflies. I have butterflies. Grandchildren. What was that? Sun. Sunflowers. What was that? Dogs. Ha ha ha. The ocean. Daughters. Okay, there were several overlapping joys, so. Okay, again, just shout at it. Yes. I know, last time I did this, somebody said hearing aids brought them joy. Clouds? Yeah. I mean, there are so many things, you know. My hope is that right now you are orienting your heart to this space that will cultivate the place that joy is more easily accessible, that you're calling to it, you're making room for joy to follow you the rest of the way home today. And if you haven't made a public declaration of joy this morning, I invite you sometime today to do that. Maybe you'll go out on the beach. There's probably going to be a lot of people out there, but you can call out to joy anywhere you are in very loud and public ways or very quiet and still ways, opening yourself, orienting yourself to inviting joy to show up. So I'm going to leave you all this morning with a quote by Valarie Kaur. She says, "We can't force joy, but we can make space for it." That's what we've been saying all morning. May we look up at that night sky. May we let joy in, for we We'll be someone's ancestors one day. If we show up with our whole hearts, all those who come after us will inherit not our fear, but bravery born of joy. That is my hope for each and every one of us, that we give fear a back seat and invite joy to come into our lives. And at this time, we get to experience and invite joy into our lives by our invitation to generosity.
Every week in this congregation, we are provided with the opportunity to practice generosity. This is your invitation to contribute to the well-being of our congregation. For those of you present here in the meeting house, the plates will be passed by the ushers. You may also join this time of generosity via text, sending your offering by mail, or charge your contribution online. Please give generously to this cause of peace, love, and understanding.
Very kind, thank you. I'd like to offer a song that I've always felt this really deeply inside. By way of introducing the song, let me tell you what Albert Einstein said. Einstein said, "Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind." I love this because there is a beautiful inference there that in time we will grow out of this. So this song, there was another song that was listed in your order of service. That's incorrect. The one that we're doing now is called Dancing on the Ashes of Empires. And in singing it, I'd like to send a message to the Oval Office and to the world that I have never in my life been even remotely interested in even a moment of nationalism. Why would I start now? We are here not merely to love, but to cease to be anything else except love itself. We are here to become love. These are the words to the chorus, in case you feel like singing. So many golden bodies circling the fires, how long these souls have waited to be free. Behold these golden bodies circling the fires and dancing on the ashes of empires. So obviously this is metaphor, this is poetry. It's not, nobody's talking about literally burning down anything. We're talking about living our lives in such a way that we become love to the extent that empire cannot touch us. Did you see them taking off their masks, casting off the agonies of the past, looking into one another's eyes at last, and dancing on the ashes of empire? Can you see the face behind the face? Can you feel the sacred in this space? There are no enemies here, no one can desecrate this place. Let us dance upon the ashes of empires. So many golden bodies circle in the fires. How long these souls have waited to be free. Behold these golden bodies circle in the fires, dancing on the ashes of empires. Dancing on the ashes of empire. Everybody's walking on the water tonight, walking on the waves in the glowing moonlight, coming out of the caves and playing on panpipes. And we're dancing on the ashes of empire. Soldiers now can rest their weary heads. No more to war on the battlefields red. But lo, their bones are rising up from the dead. And they're dancing on the ashes of empires. So many golden bodies circle in the fires. How long these souls have waited to be free. Behold these golden bodies circle in the fires. And we're dancing on the ashes of empire. Dancing on the ashes of empire. Let no one be barred from the celebrations. All our kings and queens at this coronation. Love dissolves the boundaries of all nations and dances on the ashes of empires. So many golden bodies circle in the fires. How long these souls have waited to be free. behold these golden bodies circle in the fires, dancing on the ashes of empire, dancing on the ashes of empire, dancing on the ashes of empire. We're dancing on the ashes of empire.
We will bless the world as we get ready to move out into the world with the words of Heather Ryan Starr. And afterwards, I know you have a tradition of having music to send you out into the world. I'm going to invite you to stay. We're going to do a reprise of what we opened with, the Alleluia chorus. So we'll just sing that a few times and then we'll go forth. So these are the words of Reverend Heather Ryan Starr. May whatever gatherings or activities we engage in this afternoon help restore us, our connections to one another, our sense of hope, beauty, and fun in this world, our deep knowing that we have to take care of ourselves and each other with love and joy if we are to soulfully survive the world's mayhem. So now I invite you, again, we'll do two rounds of Alleluia. Again, gratitude lives right next door to joy.
Alleluia, 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 Alleluia.